Joining us this evening to hear some more about the CTE elective options that you have here at the Morris Hills Regional District. We're excited that you joined us this evening and are hopeful that you can get some more information and make a well-informed decision about the classes that you have to take as options for next year. Before we begin, a little bit about the format for tonight. So this is a Zoom webinar format, meaning that we have a few panelists that are here this evening. You will be able to see them and hear them speak. They are students at Morris Hills and Morris Knolls High School, since we have the same programs offered in both buildings. But you will not be able to unmute or show your video on your side of things. If you do have questions as they come along, whether for myself or any of the panelists, please feel free to put those questions into the chat, and we will answer them at certain points that are earmarked throughout the course of the presentation. We are recording the video tonight, this presentation, and what we do, and as we've done in the past, is we will put it out on YouTube on our MHRD CTE YouTube channel for review at a later date. So this way, in case you maybe wanted to go back and review a certain class or a certain part of the presentation as you're making those decisions on your course selection sheets, then you will have that option. Again, before we begin too, on the screen is a QR code that will link you to our district program of studies. So every course that we will talk about tonight is included on the program of studies. You'd have to just scroll down until you find career and technical education. And then from there, it is broken off into business, family, consumer science, and technology and engineering education. So that will take you to that page. So if you want more information about our classes for this evening, which is the focus of career and technical education, or any other classes that we have at Morris Hills Regional District, that would be your way to get that information. All right. So a little bit about yourself. Again, like I mentioned, this is focused on career and technical education this evening, so mainly your elective options. You will be selecting your core classes, your math, your science, your English, but you do have some electives that you can choose when you join us next year at Morris Hills or Morris Knolls. So the focus of our presentation is going to begin with business education. So we have classes in marketing, management, investments, personal financial literacy that we'll be speaking about this evening. We will also talk about family consumer science classes. These are classes like culinary arts. We have a 3-year culinary arts progression to get you industry ready. We also have an Exploring Childhood program that focuses on childcare, development, the psychology side of things as well. If you want to be going to education or psychology, something along those lines, we have courses in family consumer science that would help to prepare you for that. Technology and engineering education classes. So this is kind of a mix of your traditional shop classes, your wood shop, your metal shop. Plus, we do have industry, state-of-the-art equipment in engineering and machine shop technology that you'll get a chance to take a look at a little bit later on this evening with some of our pictures. And we do have a 3-year aviation program that I will talk about a little bit later. I do oversee the aviation program, and that prepares students for FAA Part 107 licensure, which would give them FAA certification, a license at the age of 16 or 17 to operate a drone or unmanned aircraft system. Our aviation program also focuses on fixed-wing aircraft, and we will have a chance to talk about that a little bit later. All right, so I am also very lucky this evening to be joined by 4 fantastic CTE students from both Morris Knolls and Morris Hills High School. Like I mentioned a moment ago, every class that we're going to talk about is offered in both buildings. So whether you are Copeland, McKinnon, Valley View, whatever school you are coming from, TJ, you will have the opportunity to take these courses at either Morris Hills or Morris Knolls High School. So the 4 students tonight are going to talk about some of their experiences briefly as we get started here. They're going to answer the 3 questions that you see on the screen. So they're going to address what CTE classes they've taken, what they kind of feel like they've gained from taking these classes, and then what their plans are when they graduate from either Morris Hills or Morris Knolls in June. So in the spirit of keeping things even and not showing favoritism to either Morris Knolls or Morris Hills, we have 2 students from each school tonight, and we'll kind of go in the order that you see here. So we will start with Alicia Ramos, who is one of our CTE students over at Morris Knolls. Alicia, if you want to unmute and you can answer the 3 questions that you see on the screen here.
Hi, I'm Alicia Ramos. I'm a senior at Morris Knolls. And out of my 4 years, I've taken marketing, intro to business, social media marketing, sports marketing, college accounting, personal finance, and intro to computer applications. So a lot of different business classes, but definitely most of my electives were all business courses. What did I gain from the classes? So I started taking them because I wasn't sure what I wanted my major to be outside of high school. I was thinking biology, but I knew it was good to have like a background in business, but it's taught me so many skills, like how to analyze financial statements, critical thinking skills, how to like businesses keep track of their funds, how they do their daily tasks, and especially like effective communication in like professional settings. And then my plans for when I graduate, I'm going to Marist College in Poughkeepsie, and I'm studying business administration with a concentration in marketing and a minor in communications. And there I do plan to get my MBA and then hopefully go into a job as a marketing manager and then hopefully start a side in real estate. But I would definitely take as many business classes as you can because even my freshman year, like I said, I went in wanting to do biology, took a biology course, didn't go so well. And then I knew it was good to have like business is just like a background, and there's so many careers you could go into when you have that background. So I would definitely influence your child, or if you are an eighth grade student, to take a business class next year.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Alicia. I appreciate that feedback. That was great. Congratulations on your plans for next year. That sounds amazing. I'm sure you're going to do awesome things. And I think that's kind of the message that you shared is kind of the focus that we want to have for tonight as well. And that's trying out, different classes while you're here, seeing what you like, because you may like one thing now and think that's what you want to do. But, come 10th or 11th grade, maybe you're going in a different direction. So I'm glad to hear that you've had the chance to explore those classes. So thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Elena, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Elena. I'm also a senior at Morris Knolls, and some of the classes I've taken so far includes Intro to Business, Personal Finance, Accounting 1 Honors, and Accounting 2 Honors. I've also taken Business and Personal Law and Microsoft Professional. So far, I've taken a lot of different business courses. They've definitely been very exciting, and they definitely challenge your thinking. And overall, they set up students well for their future college majors. So what did I gain from taking these classes? Taking these classes provided me with a very diverse skill set, and it definitely gave me a deeper understanding of the business world. For an example, in accounting, I learned how to manage different financial transactions and understand budgeting within like a specific company. And this is definitely crucial for making business informed decisions. I also get the opportunity to do some fun projects with my classmates. This also included either watching educational movies, and we even got to play Monopoly, which is a really fun and ideal way to learn about business. In terms of my Microsoft Professional class, this equipped me with skills in different software platforms such as Excel, PowerPoint, Access, and Word. And you can also get your certification in these classes, which is something great that you can apply to your resume for future purposes. And in business personal law, this is definitely a great class. I was hesitant about it at first, but it teaches you a lot of great basic legal skills about the law and dealing with business under the law, such as getting into contracts, signing contracts, learning about legal ages, what you can do when you're a minority, and what you can do when you're an adult. So it definitely helps educate you and prepares you for when you become an adult in the adult life. What are my plans for when I graduate? So when I graduate, I also plan to attend Marist College, and there I will be running Division I track and field, as well as majoring in business analytics with a minor in concentration in accounting. And during my time, I would also like to obtain my MBA. I would like to get my master's degree, and I do plan on studying abroad. They have this awesome program in Madrid, Spain. You could study abroad for a whole semester. So I plan on doing that to travel the world, get a diverse background, and I think it'll be a really great idea. And outside of college, I would really love and I aspire to be a forensics accountant for the FBI someday. But overall, at first, I think any of these business courses provide a great foundation early on. Whether you begin with Intro to Business or Personal Finance, it definitely teaches you a lot of great personal life skills that you can learn, especially whether it's just living in a home, learning about rent, credit cards, how to balance your credits and debits. So there's definitely a lot of awesome and interesting skills that you can apply to life that all of these core classes will teach you. So I really love all of my business classes. I think they're great and they really teach you a whole lot of different interesting and fun things. And I also enjoy that the teachers incorporate a lot of diverse and interesting ways to help you learn this to make it a really fun class.
That's awesome. I love hearing all these stories, Elena. This is fantastic. I wish you, just like Lisa, the best of luck. It sounds like you have a great future in front of you, and I'm really glad that you took advantage of the courses that you had here. Even like, just talking about Microsoft Professional, and you mentioned it. you're getting certified by Microsoft. You're getting the MOS
Yes.
certification. So you have that on your resume. You don't
Hmm.
just know Microsoft Excel or Microsoft Word. You're actually certified by Microsoft
Hmm.
as being proficient in that. And that's something that's great to throw on a resume if you're looking to enter the world of business. So that's awesome. Even, the accounting classes too. I'm not sure if you were on the field trip too this year, but we did the
Yes.
field trip to
Hmm.
WIS accounting, and you really get to work side by side with some of those accountants and see what that career path is like. So we try to like give our students a fully immersive experience, and it sounds like you really took advantage of that. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Congrats. All right. So thank you, Alicia and Elena, for talking about some of our business classes. We're going to move over to Prem and Vihas to talk about some of our technology and engineering classes, or if you guys have taken business classes too, feel free to mention those. But Prem, if you want to kick it off for us, thank you.
So yeah, hi, my name's Prem. I've taken a lot of tech classes at MHRD. So I've taken CAD, which is computer design or 3D modeling, electronics, robotics, wood shop, and metal shop. And in terms of what I've gained from CTE classes, I mean, I walked into high school not really knowing what I wanted to do. When I was in eighth grade, I wanted to be a doctor. When I was in sixth grade, I wanted to be a lawyer. And in high school, I was pretty lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do and I didn't know what to do. And I started by taking a tech class, really because I had parents that are into tech. So I just want to see what it was like. And let me just start by saying like MHRD has phenomenal teachers, state of the art equipment. They have everything on hand you want to get into a STEM field, especially, and you're prepared at such a young age. So by taking tech classes at MHRD, I've not only got the level of knowledge someone would need walking into college or even an industry level job out of high school, but I figured out what my passion is. Like, I really know that I want to do engineering, and that's because of my teachers and all the equipment I've had access to at MHRD. So in terms of what MHRD offers, like physically in terms of equipment, we have state of the art laser cutters, 3D printers, CNC machining, water jets. We have a lot of things that some colleges, like local colleges, don't even have on hand at MHRD, which is amazing. Because when we walk out of MHRD and go to these colleges, we're going to be the students who already know how to use these machines, who get into the maker spaces early, who get those connections with professors, get early internships, have things to put on our resume like CAD skills, electronics. So MHRD is phenomenal because it really helps you find your passion if you want to be in STEM, and it really guides you towards success just walking out of high school. So as I walk out of high school this June, I plan on majoring at mechanical engineering. I haven't committed to a college yet, but I'll know sooner or later. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Prem. I think that's great too that you shared the fact that you wanted to be a doctor, then you want to be a lawyer, and then you kind of weren't really sure which direction that you wanted to go in. And I think that's something that I kind of mentioned at my presentation last week at Morris Knolls, not so much at Hills, but making that for now decision. You're not committing something forever right now, so you're trying out things that you like and kind of finding what you enjoy. So I'm glad to hear that you were able to use that equipment. And again, kind of like we were talking about with Elena and Microsoft Office getting that advantage with having the certification, our students in our tech and engineering classes are using industry standard equipment. That's something that they can put on their resume and share, and gives them that advantage as they're comparing themselves to others who may be applying to a college or applying to a job. So, being thoughtful about the classes that you take, making that for now decision, and not just making that decision for now, making the most of it and taking the most classes that you can get here to give yourself that advantage. So awesome. Thank you, Prem. Appreciate it. All right, Vias.
Hello, I'm Vias, and I'm a senior at Morris Knolls High School. The classes I've taken are CAD 1 and 2, electricity, woods and metals 1, woods 2. And then after taking electricity, I wanted to continue, so I pursued a gifted talented course in electrical engineering, which I started last year. I'm continuing this year. This year I'm also taking a product design course, and I've also taken business strategies. What I've gained from these classes, especially, is a lot of the technical skills to use machines. When I first entered high school, I had no idea. I knew what a 3D printer was. That was pretty much the extent of it. And then now, on a daily basis, I'll be in the lab running cuts on the laser cutter, using a CNC mill to make parts for a project I'm doing. And that's something I wouldn't have been able to get to that point without any other way. And then specifically through these classes like CAD, I've learned how to use tools like Onshape, which is being used in industry, and that gives me an advantage going into college, where it's a lot of the class I'm looking at when I go on researching colleges is all stuff we already covered at Morris Hills or at Morris Knolls. But taking these classes, I've already got a leg up, so that the first all the introductory classes, I'll already have covered that topics, which will let me expand my knowledge even further once I moved on beyond high school. Particularly, one of my favorite things about the CTE program is the freedom you get to make your own personal projects. a lot of the classes, especially woods and metals, after you learn like the basics, you make a couple shared projects. It's kind of if you kind of do what you want to do, you'll have to like obviously use some tools and complete some basic requirements. But as for what you make is completely up to you. You can solve your own personal problems or make products you think are to school. For me, for example, I just recently built an RC car entirely from scratch, which is something I've always been interested in since I was a kid. So I was really glad I was able to accomplish that through the CTE program. And for my plans in June, I plan to major in computer engineering, and I've not committed to any college yet.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vihas. I appreciate it. And Vihas did mention too, our gifted and talented program. A lot of times we have students who exhaust our intro to woods class and then our cabinet making class, and then they really have the freedom to propose a gifted and talented independent study proposal, create their own projects, and kind of really create their own pathway within that course to make the most of what they have while they're here. So I know Vihas is taking advantage of that, which is fantastic. We'll talk some more about some of the classes that they all mentioned, but I really appreciate Licia, Elena, Prem, Vihas. Thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight. If you can stay on in case anyone has any questions along the way, we'll kind of pause after business and see if there's any questions for Licia or Elena, and then after tech and engineering for Prem and Vihas or myself. And we'll take it from there. But great insight, and we appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, so I stressed this. If you were at Morris Knolls, the presentation on Thursday night, I was very fortunate with my partner, Miss Mallon, to have 25 minutes to review all of our classes. And I kind of shared this message. And I didn't have as much time at Morris Hills, only 10 minutes. So we kind of went through things a little bit quicker at Morris Hills. So I don't want to repeat my entire presentation that I gave at Morris Hills, but I just want to hit the highlights and really give you something to think about as you're choosing these courses before we get to the meat and potatoes. The one thing that I like to say over and over again is how we define the goal always defines how we play the game. So the 4 students you just heard from, they didn't just check off that box to get to that goal of graduating high school. They knew the game was getting to that next step. What's beyond high school? How can I get myself ready for after I graduate from high school? Thinking of graduation as a goal makes it finite. Instead of thinking of it as a goal, you want to think of it as a milestone. It's the stepping stone to your next stages. And while you're here at Morris Hills or at Morris Knolls, take advantage of the courses that you have. You heard the 4 of these individuals that were here, students, talk about their experience, making the most of that. So now that they are hitting that milestone, they have 5 or 6 business or engineering classes under their belt. So when they reach that first year of college, they are ahead of their competition. They know things that their peers in those level 1 classes may not know. So they're really giving themselves, and this is the message that I harped on a lot. I gave away a lot of free giveaways at Morris Knolls for people who responded, but they really gave themselves that competitive advantage. Building that resume with the certification, building that resume or that college application, talking about the different equipment or machinery that you know how to use already that's industry standard. Use what you have while you are here. Make the most of it because you have opportunities at Morris Hills or Morris Knolls that other high school students may not have. So just keep that in mind. And we mentioned it before, making that for now decision. You're not making a decision forever. You're not committing to a career. You're not saying, I'm going to be this. You may start off wanting to be a doctor or wanting to be a biologist and find out that after a class, you don't like it. We heard that already. So make a decision for now. Try it out next year as a 9th grader. Good news is if you don't like it as a 9th grader, you have 10th, 11th, and 12th grades to kind of find a different direction for yourself. So make the decision for now. Think about what you want to do. Take classes that are in that pathway and then see if you really like it. And the question of why, why do that? Because education with purpose leads to employment with passion. You heard about, again, the 4 students that just spoke. They have an education with a purpose. I'm sure that Alicia and Elena spend a lot of their time in the business hallway hopping from class to class because they have a purpose, and that's going to lead to a job, a career that they are passionate about. You heard what they have planned for them. The same with Prem and Vihas. They're spending time in the lab. They're running a CNC mill. They're running a laser. So they're finding that passion now and having an education with a purpose. These are the classes that you get to explore. Yes, math classes are great. Yes, English classes are great, but this is where you really get a chance to explore what your next steps are. And again, I talk a lot about that competitive advantage. What does that consist of? Technical competencies. Do you know how to use that equipment? Do you know how to use that software? Academic knowledge and professional skills. So those three things that you will gain over the course of the next 4 years will give you that competitive advantage. And don't be afraid to brag about it. Don't be afraid to put it on a resume. Don't be afraid to put it on a college essay. Use what you are getting while you are here and give yourself that advantage. Okay, so I went into that a lot more while I was at Knowles, but I don't want to repeat the same message because we want to talk about our classes some more. One thing I did share is that we created some career pathways. Again, these are 4-year for now decisions. So if you kind of have an idea of what you may be interested in doing, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. That will bring you to our career pathways document. I'll give you a second if you are scanning it before I actually go over to the graphic of it to let you show some more detail on it. But these are courses that you are, again, trying to align with your career pathway. You will meet with your counselor, you'll schedule your math class, your ELA class, your science class, your history class, but then think about your electives and try to match them with many career paths that we have to offer. So you'll notice one thing is that, and again, this font is very small, so it's probably easier if you're looking on a phone, this way you can see everything or on a different device. But a class like personal finance is in every single career field, because if you are going into the real world, you should know how to manage your finances so that you're not in debt, know how to invest your money. So this way, when you're renting or buying a home or buying a car or thinking about education, that you are giving yourself that advantage personally from a financial standpoint. But so these are just a handful of different pathways. Courses that are underneath the pathway line up with that pathway. You are not committing to anything. You don't have to complete all these courses. These are just suggestions. Okay. So a little bit more about our classes. So we have some great opportunities for our incoming 9th grade students. We do have a dual enrollment partnership with Fairleigh Dickinson University for about 30 classes district-wide. A good number of those classes are within the business, family, consumer science, and technology and engineering education programs. So you could be a 9th grade student next year, receiving college credit that you could then transfer to a different school. So even if you don't go to FDU once you graduate at the end of 12th grade, you can transfer those credits to a different college. Oftentimes they transfer as general elective credits, but it's still 3 less credits that you have to pay for. This year, the rate per credit was $105. I believe it's up to $110 next year, but it's still, when you compare it to a 4-year school and the cost per credit, it is at a significant discount. We mentioned career exploration, so whatever your possible career pathway may be, you have a chance to really explore as a 9th grader and see if you do like it or if you want to go in a different direction. Every class that we will talk about tonight, with the exception of aviation, every class in family consumer science, business, and technology and engineering meets the 21st Century Life and Careers graduation requirement. So you are checking off one of those requirements along the way to your graduation. And our classes really are hands-on. You heard a few moments ago about projects and using equipment. And these are not classes where you're going to be sitting at a desk, taking notes, writing definitions, filling in blanks. These are classes where, maybe in a business and law class, you're looking at case studies and trying to defend one side. Or in a technology class like a wood shop, we heard, you're going to create your own project and kind of give yourself that independence. So they really are hands-on classes and gives you a break from your other more academic core classes. And you really can focus in on an area of an interest. So look at a career pathway, try to align your course selections to that career pathway, and make the most of the time that you have at Morris Hills or Morris Knolls. Like I did mention a moment ago, Fairleigh Dickinson University, this is our list for this year of courses that fall within business, career technical education, or family consumer science that are eligible for dual enrollment with FDU. This list can change from year to year. So just because a course is on here for the 24-25 school year does not necessarily mean that it will be on here for the 25-26 school year. But a lot of these classes are open to students in grade 9. An example is game development. If you'd like to play video games and want to make your own video game from scratch, you can take a game development class next year, learn about that in Unity or in Roblox or in Minecraft, and learn how to create that game while getting college credit for it. Personal finance is also eligible for 9th graders. Intro to CAD, CAD 1, I should say, is eligible for 9th graders. Intro to graphic communications, TV production 1. These are all classes that are open to 9th graders and eligible for dual enrollment credit through Fairleigh Dickinson University. So our first department we're going to look at here is business education. So we're going to go through the classes that are available to grade 9 students in business education. Once I go through it, I will pause before I move on to the next department and see if you have any questions either for myself or our two Morris Knolls business students that we have on the call tonight. So first off, esports experience is a brand new class starting next year. So it is not on the books right now, but it is starting up in 25, 26 come the end of August. Esports is a multi-billion dollar industry. There are scholarships, there are career pathways all over the place, whether it's as in marketing, whether it's in finance, whether it's in shoutcasting, which is the broadcasting side of esports. So the idea behind the esports experience class is not to play the video games, but to explore the business side of esports. As a multi-billion dollar industry, clearly there's a huge business component there. So this differs from our intro to business class or business management class because it is hyper focused on the field of esports. So if you like gaming, if you think maybe you want to be a game developer one day, or maybe want to compete professionally in esports, it's probably a good class to check out and really see if it's something that interests you from the business side of things. And that kind of goes hand in hand with another class that is super popular that I mentioned a moment ago. That's our game development class. So this is a class where you are creating the games, you are playing the games. The one main platform that we use is Unity. If you play video games, you may be familiar with Unity because a lot of times in the corner you'll see it, created with Unity, created in Unity. It is very much a coding program, so you are coding in Unity. We also offer alternatives for our students in Roblox or Minecraft. So if you're struggling with Unity, if maybe the language is a little bit too challenging, we do offer you the opportunity to explore and develop games in different platforms. This way you are still accomplishing the goals of the class, but just at a different level. Really a fun class. It is immensely popular. We're running, I think, 5 sections at Morris Hills this year, 3 sections at Morris Knolls. And that is part of the reason why we created that esports experience class, because of the popularity of game development. We know that a lot of students want to consider that as a career pathway. So we created esports experience as well. So that's kind of like our gaming realm of things in the business department. I believe it was either Elena or Alicia mentioned before, Intro to Business is a great class just to kind of get your feet wet. Explore all different avenues in the world of business, whether that's marketing, whether it's just kind of learning how a business operates on a day-to-day basis. It is very project heavy. I know we do a lot of projects with ads around Christmas time. We do a lot of hands-on activities, posters, presentations, just kind of gets you familiar with the basics of business. And it's really a good stepping stone if you're thinking about maybe majoring in business or going into business as a career path. I would definitely start with Intro to Business just to kind of get that general overview. Also super excited about another brand new course in the business department. We always try to make sure that we are evolving, and that is the Modern Digital Workplace. And this kind of evolved from the current state of the world of business. After post-pandemic, a lot of businesses moved away from the traditional model where you're coming into the office, sitting in your cubicle every day, and entered more of a hybrid format where you may be in the office 2 days a week and then working virtually 3 days a week. So we want to make sure that we are preparing our students for that potential hybrid type setting in the world of business. And that's going to be the focus of this class. Using different platforms that are cloud-based so you can collaborate with a colleague who may not be with you face-to-face or across Zoom like we are right now. And then part of that as well, one of the evolving trends, as I mentioned at Morris Knolls on Thursday night, we're in the 4th industrial revolution based off of the infusion of AI. One of the things that we're going to focus on in this class is AI. How is AI impacting the world of business? How can you as a business person incorporate AI? Marketing firms are using AI all the time. So just making sure that our students are fully prepared for what awaits them as they enter the world of business. So that is Modern Digital Workplace, brand new course, meets 21st century life and careers. One class that I think everyone should take, regardless of what you want to major in, regardless of your career path, whether you're going to the workforce, 2-year, 4-year, military, trade school, whatever it may be, personal finance. I cannot stress this enough. It teaches students how to manage their money, from looking at taxes to buying a house, to creating a budget, wants versus needs. How do you manage those things so this way you can live the life that you want to live while still being financially responsible? Personal finance is a class for you. It does, like I mentioned before, it is eligible for dual enrollment credit through the early college program at FDU. ninth graders can take it. Sometimes it is more beneficial to take the class as an 11th or a 12th grader once you have some more life experience in the world of personal finance. Maybe you have a car and a job, and now you're seeing what your gross versus your net pay is, and that is a sticker shock for you. But it is eligible for ninth grade students, but sometimes it is better to take as an 11th or 12th grader as you are getting ready for that next stage of your life. Yearbook 1 is a fantastic class for our grade 9 students, especially. It really gives you a chance to get an insider look at either Morris Knolls High School or Morris Hills High School. You kind of get exclusive access to events. We have our students that are walking around taking pictures throughout the block and then creating different layouts and spreads through either Jostens or Walsworth for the two companies that we use. We have two amazing teachers at both Morris Knolls and Morris Hills. Mrs. Mallon, who spoke with me on Thursday night at Morris Knolls, is the teacher of yearbook, and she's amazing. And Mr. DeGennaro is the teacher at Morris Hills. He's also fantastic. A yearbook class, if you walk into it, it's going to look like chaos, but it is very much an organized chaos. And if you want to be in the world of business, there is no more realistic business class that we have than yearbook. You are creating a product from scratch that you are selling to the public. There are deadlines, there are expectations, and really a great way to put that on your resume too, and talk about how you contributed to the yearbook to create a product that you then sold at the end of the school year. So these again are our 6 classes that are available to students in grade 9. We have many more classes as you progress 10th through 12th grade, but these are kind of to give you some options as you enter as a grade 9 student. So why these classes? I mentioned before, several of these classes fulfill the personal financial literacy graduation requirement. They all fulfill the 21st century life and careers requirement. Just a quick note about that. I'm going to go back a slide for a second here and use personal finance as an example. Personal finance meets the personal financial literacy graduation requirement, and it also meets 21st century life and careers, but not at the same time. So if you are using personal finance to meet your personal financial literacy requirement, you cannot also use that class for 21st century life and careers. So you'd have to use another class to satisfy that requirement. So just to be clear, you can't have one class simultaneously meet 2 graduation requirements, just so I'm clear on that. Like I mentioned, you can earn college credits in grade 9 in either game development or personal finance. And we're really have courses for students that are college and career focused. You have stackable credentials, whether it's in Microsoft Professional as you move up through the ranks, or just giving yourself that experience of the world of business through field trips or different experiences with guest speakers that we often have into the classroom. So what else? And there's so much more. I could go on for hours and hours, but I know I want to try to limit this to 1 hour in total. We are a next gen personal finance school of distinction, which is a fantastic honor. We have a National Business Honor Society, which I know our students on the call are part of. We have an entrepreneurship class that we started up this school year. I was actually fortunate enough today to go up to Ramapo College to judge for the DECA competition. DECA is a fantastic organization that prepares students for the world of business through role plays and simulations. They offer scholarships. We do have a DECA chapter at both Morris Hills and Morris Knolls High School that is very successful, in addition to FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. So if you're interested in the world of business, get involved in DECA, get involved in FBLA. They're going to make you great public speakers. They're going to make you think on your feet and really give you an immersive experience in the world of business that will help to boost your resume. Microsoft Office Specialist, we mentioned before how you can get certified, not just saying that you're good, but saying that you are certified by Microsoft in these different platforms. So I'm going to play a quick video from our personal finance teacher, Mr. Geary. Oh, was there no sound on that? I don't know, my panelists said you guys are here. I apologize if there's no sound. Okay, good to know. Oops. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for the feedback. So just some shots of different activities that we've done. Top left-hand corner, we do a lot of field trips where students get to explore the world of business. We had a trip to New York City previously for one of our entrepreneurship-based classes. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the yearbook spread and how we kind of prepare that on the larger scale. Bottom row middle is our game development class. Bottom row right is, again, part of our entrepreneurship program. Top right are students in our DECA competition. We go to the state competition for DECA in Atlantic City. Our students always compete very well at that competition. And we always participate in the New York Jets sports marketing day at MetLife Stadium. Here's some pictures of the Jets marketing day at MetLife Stadium in the top row. Bottom left, we do have esports teams at both Morris Hills and Morris Knolls High School. You can see the Morris Hills esports logo in the bottom left-hand corner. Bottom middle, this year, our students this year? I guess it was earlier this year. Our students at Morris Knolls won the Rocket League championship for the Fall Esports League. So you can see them there holding the brackets, celebrating their Rocket League win. In the bottom right are students who have our Microsoft Office certification as they finish up with those Microsoft skills in Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. So before I move on to family consumer science, are there any questions about business? I'm looking at the Q&A. I don't see anything there other than the fact that I didn't have any sound. Again, I apologize for that on the video. I'll try to fix that for the next one. Before we move on to family and consumer science. Let's see any questions there. So I will move on to our second department, which is family consumer science. Now, good news, bad news. The bad news is that we do not have any classes available in family and consumer science for students in ninth grade. This is kind of one just to think about as you are in ninth grade, considering your classes for 10th grade. But we do have a 3-year culinary arts sequence. So if you like cooking, like baking, like all those baking shows, Chopped and whatnot, you may want to consider trying out a culinary arts 1 class as a sophomore. And I will emphasize the fact to try it out as a sophomore because it is a 3-year progression, and we do want students to have the opportunity to finish those 3 years. We give priority to students in 10th grade for culinary arts 1. This way they can then take culinary arts 2 as a junior and culinary arts 3 as a senior. That's kind of counter to what most of our other classes are, where we give seniors priority and work backwards. With our progressive classes like culinary arts and aviation, we give our 9th or 10th graders in this case the first dibs on those classes. We also have a class called Exploring Childhood, where we have essentially a running preschool where we have students that are, or children that are age 2.5 to 5 that come in 2 days a week. So our high schoolers create lessons. They learn about the development of from birth till 18 of a child. It really gives them a chance to explore the possibility of entering the field of psychology, education, and really just learn about childcare in general. We have the Baby Think It Over dolls, which are the ones that you'll take home. It will cry if you don't take care of it, if you don't change its diaper. So again, giving our students a real immersive experience. And then the other class in family consumer science is our introduction education class. We are in dire need of teachers across the profession. So if you are interested in becoming an educator, we do have a class that's eligible to students in grade 11 or 12, where you get a chance to go out to our elementary schools and our middle schools in the area and actually implement a lesson. So you'll work with a cooperating teacher, students like to be a teacher, and then actually be in front of the classroom before the end of the school year, teaching a lesson to anywhere from kindergartners to 8th grade students. Talking about that competitive advantage, something great to put on your resume as you're applying to schools, the fact that you were in this program, you've lesson planned, you've been in front of students implementing a lesson in a school. So family consumer science, again, all the courses meet 21st century life and careers. Similar to business, we do have college credits for introduction education and the culinary arts classes. Resume builders, stackable credentials. We offer ServSafe certification in our culinary arts 3 course. So students who are looking to pursue a career in the culinary arts get Serve Safe certified. So they get that certificate. If you go into most restaurants and look on the wall behind like the counter or in the kitchen, you will see a Serve Safe certificate. It is really the industry standard for safety and sanitation in the food industry. So we want to give our students the opportunity to build that resume, to stack a credential, to make themselves more marketable as they either enter the workforce or enter a culinary school. And again, the different careers that our classes meet is also on the career pathways as well. Let me see if I can try to get sound on this. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to skip the video just because I don't want to. We're not going to get sound. I'll take you actually on a journey through inside of our classrooms. So here you can see, like I mentioned a moment ago, our family and consumer science class for exploring childhood. The bottom middle, they do a real fun Polar Express activity where the little 2.5-year-old to 5-year-old kids hop in a wagon. They bring them up and down the hallway. They sing songs around the holidays. So really a fun time, a great class. Top right-hand corner, you can see the baby think it over. So we learn about changing a diaper, how to take care of a baby, and really kind of gives you that full preschool experience. You see the circle time where they do weather, days of the week, different letters, colors, and our high school students are preparing these lessons for the elementary and for the preschool age students. It's really a fun class if you're thinking about, oops, going the wrong way, if you are thinking about entering the world of education or psychology. Any questions on family and consumer science? Again, unfortunately, no classes available to grade 9 students, but as you enter grade 10, consider taking culinary or exploring childhood as one of your options. Okay, up next, we have technology and engineering education. So you heard Prem and Vihas talk a little bit before about essentially all of these classes, except maybe TV production. But CAD 1 is really, if you're thinking about entering the world of engineering, you want to be an engineer, you're going to need to know how to design in 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions and use all different kinds of equipment. So CAD 1 is a great class to get you started along those lines. Our general CAD 1 classes start with 1 to 2 months focusing on your traditional hand drafting where you have the big old tablets out, you're doing the large format drafting, and then we'll quickly move over to Onshape to do some of our 2-dimensional modeling, moving up to 3-dimensional modeling. Students are using 3D printers. Students are using laser engravers. We have a water jet wazer at Morris Hills High School, looking to add that at Morris Knolls. So really gives our students an opportunity to explore industry-based equipment. I think I mentioned both at Morris Hills and Morris Knolls when I spoke, the importance of getting involved in these classes early. So if you want to eventually get to an architecture class where you're redesigning a bathroom, redesigning a house, or get to an engineering design class where you're creating your own product from scratch and going through the engineering design cycle, you have to start with CAD 1 followed by CAD 2. So get involved in 9th grade to see if you like it, continue in CAD 2 in 10th grade, and then that gives you the option in 11th or 12th grade to explore architecture or engineering. Once you get to architecture, students in our architecture program do get ADDA certified. So they are recognized by the Apprentice Drafting Association, something that they can put in their resume, a stackable credential to make themselves more marketable if they are considering pursuing a career in engineering or architecture. We do have an electricity class as well. We do some breadboard, some circuitry, we do soldering, and then from there we do a little bit of residential wiring as well. Your electricity class will then branch you off into either robotics or into electrical trades. And I will talk about a little bit of both of those. So electrical trades, I mentioned, I think in both buildings as well, that we have at Morris Knolls High School, a framed structure that allows our students to roughly wire a house and give them that experience of bringing that Romex back to the box, wiring it up, and really giving them an immersive experience if they are considering a field in the trades. I talked about, again, the 4th Industrial Revolution and AI, and an electrician is a job that will never go away. We will always need electricians. So if you like working with your hands, consider taking electricity as a course in 9th grade. Electricity also will branch you off into robotics. We compete in FTC robotics, in Robotics 1 and Robotics 2. Every year, FTC changes their challenge. So the robots that we have are not a kit. Our students are not following steps 1 through 50. They are actually designing their robot from scratch to meet the challenge that FTC has outlined for them. So really, it's a great experience to throw on your resume. I designed an FTC robot. Our team made modifications. We worked with this software. Really a great fun experience. We compete on the weekends at FTC competitions. Really a great class to take. One of our more popular classes is graphic communications, kind of like an art shop, art garage class where you are designing products on Adobe Illustrator. And then from there, you are actually manufacturing them and creating them. So you may be making t-shirts, you may be making screen prints, you may be making frisbees or buttons or stickers. So if you like art, like creating art on the computer, and want to see that art brought to life, graphic communications is a great class. You'll actually take a squeegee and do a screen print with a squeegee, and you can put your design on multiple t-shirts. I know at Morris Knolls we've done designs for, for breast cancer awareness, for the volleyball team, for the soccer team, for different organizations around the building. So really, we try to make the most of the shops that we have in-house to create products for our students and our staff. Woodworking and metalworking, they kind of go hand in hand. The fact that we are still a high school that has a wood shop and a metal shop. There are not a lot of schools around that still have a functioning wood or metal shop. And I would suggest too, I know I mentioned CAD 1 as a class to take for engineering. If you want to be an engineer, you should also know those tangible skills of working with tools, of working with machines in a machine shop, because it's good to know the theoretical side of things, but it's also good to know what tools are being used to create those products. So give yourself that advantage of actually taking a wood or a metal class. Our students produce fantastic work at the end of the class: benches, tables, poker tables, bars, outdoor furniture, indoor furniture. Really quite incredible, the products that our students create as part of the class. Similar with metalworking, we're doing MIG welding, TIG welding, precision machining, milling. We have box and pan brakes. We do pretty much soup to nuts when you could think about it in terms of a metal shop. And then the final class for our grade 9 students is TV Production 1 in Technology and Engineering Education. So fun class to take. You're around Morris Hills or Morris Knolls. You're doing shots. You're doing news packages that relate to stories about Morris Knolls or Morris Hills. So it really gives you a chance to explore what our school has to offer. You're using industry standard equipment. You're using switchers. You can be on-air talent. So you can be the person that is reading the news and throwing into a package that was pre-recorded. And TV Production 1 will lead to 2 and 3, where you are actually creating your own films. Our TV production students, as well as our engineering students and our manufacturing students, all compete in Skills USA. So similar to DECA or FBLA, it is a competition where students get a chance to demonstrate their technical proficiencies in these niche areas. And our students always do top 2 or 3 within the state. It's really a credit to our program, to our teachers, and the programs that we have, that our students are doing so well across the state. So why take these classes? You're fulfilling graduation requirements. I know I mentioned it again. You have college credits that you can earn in TV Production 1, also CAD 1. I should have included that on there. I apologize. You could also earn college credit in CAD 1. You're learning skills for life or for a trade. So whether you go into engineering or go into woodworking or cabinet making or not, it's good to know how to use hand tools. You're going to have to repair your house at some point in your life. So being able to have those skills is great, for life or for a trade. I mentioned start early, explore in 9th grade. You don't want to regret not taking a CAD 1 class, because then you can't take an architecture class, or not taking an intro to wood class, because then you can't do a gifted and talented as a junior or a senior. So try the classes out now before you get down the road. Put your skills to work before graduation. So what I mean by that is we actually have a work-based learning program where students in our machine shop technology class, our culinary class, and our auto class can actually go their senior year to a local business and work at the end of the day. So they actually get out about an hour and a half before the rest of the students, and then they're going to a local auto shop, or we've had students work at Picatinny Arsenal, Jersey Sheet Metal, all different places in the area where they're actually getting a chance to practice those hands-on skills in the field. Talk about a resume booster. If you're looking at entering the workforce or a trade school, having that, the fact that you, as a senior, you are working on the job, is a great thing to add to your resume. Here's some shots on the left-hand side, at least, is of a poker table that one of our students at Morris Knolls made a couple of years back. You could see just the detail on the work. It's really quite amazing. I'm always in awe of our tech showcase of what our students are creating. I mentioned Skills USA, which is what we compete in. We also offer our students in Auto 3 an opportunity for certification through Automotive Service Excellence. That is the Automotive Service Excellence, excuse me. That is the industry standard for automotive technology. If you go to most auto shops, you will see an ASE certified logo on the wall, on a banner, because that is the industry standard. Our students in engineering architecture get certification through ADDA. We offer credentialing through NIMS for our machine shop technology students. We have a technology honor society, which VHAS and PREM are members of. And we also have students compete across TSA, which is Technology Student Association, through a variety of different competitions that TSA has to offer. So really, within tech, within engineering, a lot of different opportunities for you to take advantage of. Last area to talk about. So I do have a question here. Are magnet students able to enroll in any of these electives? Are there overlapping classes with the mandatory magnet program? So there are no overlapping courses with magnet program, but magnet students are able to enroll in these electives. They may have a little bit more of a prescribed schedule and not the ability to enroll as many of the electives, but they do have the opportunity to take classes in these elective areas as magnet students. Great question. Okay. Final area to talk about is aviation. We have a 3-year aviation sequence. If you are interested in aviation, just like I mentioned before with CAD and with TV production and with culinary arts, get involved early. We give priority to students in grade 9 as opposed to grade 12 for other areas because we want to see students complete the pathway. Being a pilot is a fantastic career. You get to see the world. You get to work 10 to 12 days a month, make a good amount of money, and see all over the world. So really a great opportunity. There's a need for pilots in the industry. So if you're looking for job security, aviation is a pathway to consider. So we were the first school in New Jersey to have an aviation program, and we continue to be the leader in the space, offering our students the FAA Part 107 exam at the end of their drone and UAS class, and also preparing students for their FAA private pilot's written exam. We do not have an aircraft here. We do not fly planes here. We do fly drones here. That was not us a few weeks ago, but we do have DJI minis that we fly on campus. There's a video that I'll show you in a second. There's no audio really as part of it. It's more the video side of things. But it prepares our students for flight school, so they can then pursue at a local flight school hours in the air with a certified flight instructor. We do a lot of work on the simulators. We use X-Plane 12 on our simulators with graphics cards on gaming computers, so students have a chance to explore if instrumentation goes out, if you encounter weather, how do you handle that as a pilot? So giving students that experience. We also hosted last January at Morris Knolls High School a Careers in Aviation event, wildly successful. We had all different career paths in aviation from the tech ops side of things, so maintenance, to actual manned pilots, to gliders, to UAS, to you name it. Anything in aviation. We had Morristown Airport was there, CAE, which operates multi-million-dollar simulators in Hanover. They were there. So really a great chance for our students to make connections with industry partners. Also, a lot of field trips. This was a fun one that I got to go on to the FedEx hangar in Newark. We got to see the inside operations of what it's like to be a freight carrier. We got to get into an MD-11 aircraft, which is a massive aircraft, and really gave our students a chance to meet with industry experts and kind of pick their brain about what it's like. You can see in the top right-hand corner, they brought in everyone from their operations side of things to speak to our students, and it was really a great experience. And you can see here, bottom left is the inside of an MD-11, so you're used to your traditional aircraft with first-class seats and economy seats. A stripped-down MD-11 looks like this, where there's rollers on the floor, and it's really just a massive aircraft, as you can see from the bottom right corner. And our students got to sit in the cockpit on the tarmac at Newark. Pretty cool experience. This is just, again, very quickly, the pathway if you want to become a pilot. Becoming a pilot, it does take a lot of money. There is a lot of cost up front to get your private pilot's license, but it is something that will definitely pay off on the back end when you are flying either commercially or private. So the first step is private pilot's license, and from there you kind of move on to single engine, multi-engine, and when you start to make money back is when you become a flight instructor, because then you could be the person teaching while you are getting additional certifications and licensures. This is an old data chart, but just to give you an idea of the back end of things once you become a pilot, how it pays off. Again, these are older numbers. I would suspect, there's probably a multiple factor on this of 1 point something at this point in time, but really a lucrative career pathway to see the world and only work 12 days a month, give or take. And there's all different career pathways, all different opportunities for those who are interested in being a pilot. They're all listed here. Just really quickly, because I know I'm trying to keep this at an hour and I'm running up to that point right now. This is just very quickly, it's a video of some of our drone footage that we shot with our DJI minis at Morris Hills High School. Hopefully you can hear me still, but you can see that we're operating DJI minis. The stability, the picture quality is really quite amazing when you can see how clear and steady the shots are. So that's what our students are working with when they're outside, the DJI mini drones. Here's just some more shots. I'm going to kind of pause here for a minute as we go through them. These are shots from our technology showcase on the right-hand side. On the bottom left is one of our FTC competitions that we've hosted at Morris Knolls High School. Those are our robotics programs. But you can see bottom middle, these are some of the t-shirts and artwork that students have produced in our graphic communications class that I mentioned earlier. Bottom right came out of our wood shop at Morris Knolls. Top middle is metal shop. Top right is an ammo box project where in our electricity class where students actually take an old ammunition box and they create a speaker out of it, a Bluetooth speaker. It's really a fun project. Some additional pictures and shots. You can see our laser engraver on the bottom middle, another FTC competition on the bottom left-hand side, some welding on the right, and then some architecture stuff on the top two pictures. I'm gonna again click through because I know sound's an issue and I'm coming up to an hour here. But just some more shots from inside of our shop. So here's one of our wood shop shots. You can see we have a full array of hand tools on the right-hand side, lathes on the left-hand side, joiners and planers here on the picture on the left-hand side. We use a saw stop table saw, which keeps student safety in mind. So that means that if there's even the slightest inclination of contact with that table saw, the blade immediately stops and retracts to prevent any sort of injury. We always take safety as the #1 priority in our classes, go into it extensively and make sure that our students are using equipment safely and also have those safety features on our equipment. Traditional bandsaws and sanders, you can see there as well. Metal shop, you can see some of our precision mills that we have here on the left-hand side, our welding booths on the right-hand side. And then we do some casting. I forgot to mention casting before. I'm trying to remember what it was. You can see the casting that we do. We have a plasma cutter at both Morris Hills and Morris Knolls High School. So you can lay a piece of plate and steel down in the plasma cutter, create a design, hit print, and it will cut that out of the plate and steel. So pretty cool. And then metal lathes as well. You can see in the top right-hand side there. We have a fully functioning auto shop. Here are some shots of the lift, some our alignment machine, our tire changer on the left-hand side. We do live work all the time, so it really gives our students a chance to get that feel of what it would be like to be an auto mechanic and seeing live work come through a shop on a day-to-day basis. CAD engineering, so I mentioned before, we have 3D printers. We use Ultimakers. We also have other larger industry-based equipment as well in terms of 3D printers. Laser engravers, CNC mills are what are pictured here. So industry equipment that you're becoming proficient with as you move through the pathways. Here's the Stratasys larger scale 3D printer. This is our Morris Knolls CAD and drafting room and one of our large scale plotters that we use. And this is our graphics lab. So again, you can see we're using Mac computers, Adobe Illustrator on these computers right here. We have printing presses. We can see the screen printing on the left-hand side here as well. A way to really take your artwork, as you can see kind of in the background here, and bring it to life. So that's the end of mine. I actually hit right an hour. It's 7:30 right now. How about that? I'm going to go over to the left-hand side here and just look for some questions. I know there's a couple that came through. Does world language need to be ranked with a number for my top 5 electives, or can I check off my desired language and then rank 5? So I would check off the desired language and then rank the other 5 electives based off of hopefully what you saw here tonight. And that was it in terms of the questions that I see in the chat. I'll hang on here for another minute in case there are any other questions that pop up. How many electives can a 9th grader take? So it depends. It's usually about 2 if you're not in a magnet or a math, science, and engineering or a performing arts academy. So it's usually 2. But I would definitely rank the top 5. This way, when the schedule pans out, you're getting those top 2. Okay. Let's see any other questions. I will hang on for a few more minutes in case there are any other questions. That does mark the end of my presentation. I do want to give a huge thank you one more time to Elena, Alicia, Prem, and Vihas for joining me tonight. The information that you provided at the top was great. It was better than me droning on for 45 minutes after that. So I thank you for sharing your experiences. It was really some great information. So thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. And I will hang on for maybe another minute or two in case there are any other questions. And then after that, I will stop the webinar. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye. Have a great night.
Take care. Have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. All right. I see a question about the dual enrollment courses. I'll hang on if that person's typing still. Yes, so the dual enrollment classes are at a reduced course compared to a traditional college if you were actually attending on campus. The dual enrollment classes this year were $105 per credit. Next year, they're up to about $110 per credit, I believe. Most classes are 3 credits, so you're looking at about $330 for the dual enrollment course. If you're